Good morning, everybody. Yes, I'm doing one of my pre-recorded reactions. You'll get to see my face. Foodie has made the same boring, stale poutine recipe that she's made a million times before. She's added some peas with gravy on top, which is quite an Australian or British thing to do. She's very jazzed about this one. She's done a little bit of voiceover. I've heard the intro. Now, because we're buddies, we're pals, we're friends, we're chingoos, I have run her video through some editing tools that will reduce the amount of her chewing. I haven't edited it to remove her talking parts. I've just used some tools that reduce the sound of the slopping immensely. I hope you enjoy. Let's react to this together. I'm about to cough, so excuse me. I edited it out. I've got my coffee cup. I've got my Namjoon cup. Oh, it's cooled down quite a bit because it's cold today. I've got my Junie cup. I've got my coffee. I'm ready to roll. Are you ready to roll? We can roll together. Okay, ready, steady, go. And she sped up to 1.2. So yeah.
Hi guys! Today for dinner, I made a Quebecois classic comfort dish, the hot chicken with...
Now that is her audio. I don't know if she's put it through a filter. It's scratchy. It's pitchy. It sounds like it's one of those LP recordings. It's very grating. It does swap over to her normal talking voice. I will turn it back up a little bit. I've turned it down because it's very on your ears. It's not very nice.
a side of homemade poutine with homemade chicken gravy. In this video, I talk about how I'm not sure of the exact origin of this dish, but upon further research, I found that it is a Quebecois food.
I know the origin of this dish. It's the back end of somebody, some mammal. That's the origin of this particular meal. That's what it looks like anyway.
I grew up eating this as my mom prepared it for an after-school dinner at least once a week. I hope you enjoy this video. All right, you guys. I made dinner.
Okay, I'm just going to turn it up. And yeah, I don't know why her, you know what? She doesn't have the microphone on. That's why. Thank God.
I made dinner. So today for dinner, I have some homemade poutine. I did the best I could with what I have here in Kuwait. Some Brussels sprouts in the air fryer with a bit of olive oil and sea salt. And the hot chicken sandwich.
Ma'am, you could just boil those. You could just blanch them, boil them just until they're like the brightest of greens. And then you could add a little bit of garlic salt on top or cook them with the garlic in the water and maybe put like a tablespoon of heavy cream on them. That would be delicious. You have overcooked your Brussels sprouts. They're just going to be soft and mush. Like,
Sandwich. Yes, hot chicken.
and you can tell by the color, they're just sort of not the right color for perfectly cooked Brussels sprouts.
So I have a rotisserie chicken breast in here with 2 pieces of white bread and some gravy, homemade gravy. My gravy recipe, I'll try to remember to pin. I'll pin it.
Can I just talk about how frantic she is? She's like, I've got chicken and I've got poutine and I've got 2 pieces of white bread and like she's like, it's like it's foreplay and then it's like they're about to go in for the pash. And once she starts eating, that's when they're pashing and making out. She gets so excited before the first bite. It's really bizarre. And yeah, I see she's wearing glitter on her eyelids. I'm just not even gonna pay attention to that.
And as a comment, Bismillah, I'm so hungry. This is the first meal I'm having.
Maybe if you woke up and had a snack and then said, look, I'm not going to eat for another hour until I'm like actually, or spend that hour prepping a really healthy portion controlled meal and a couple of other snacks for the rest of the day. Maybe you wouldn't push out so much food if you weren't so starving hungry when you actually did decide to eat something. Like you don't wait until you're starving because that's when you put too much food on your plate.
I had some movie theater nachos and Reese's Pieces cup, and that's about it.
And I wonder how many calories that was, how many sugars that was. That could be enough for the entire day. Like nachos are not nothing. Just because you're sitting in a chair in an outdoor space doesn't mean that they are not a countable food. And Reese's Pieces, they were supposed to be for Sala.
All right. Boo bye. Yum. I get asked all the time.
What?
Is there any food you miss? From Canada, and of course, I miss what's in.
But she misses everything. She misses spaghetti basement spaghetti. She misses the mac and cheese. She misses that macaroni bake thing that she makes. There's a bunch of cottage pie. She misses all of these things. The only thing that she hasn't really had. Oh no, that's not true. You know how she used to go to Orange Julep for the pogos all the time? She doesn't really have those, but she does eat the requested on Cameo corn dogs. I wonder how many corn dogs she's had. And you eat all the same foods that you ate in Canada: BK, McDonald's, fries, chicken and rice, butter chickens. It's just coming in different packaging. That's it.
But you can be Canadian. If I didn't miss it.
What? I couldn't understand you.
Pepsi right out of the bottle.
You had a mouthful of food.
I'm the only one who drinks it here.
Ugh. I drink from the bottle like that, sorry. We don't share
All right,
something
moment of
either.
truth. Let's try this hot chicken.
Ugh. Bet it's dry.
Oops.
$50 that it's dry.
All right.
I do like a little Martha Stewart attempt at doing something a bit colourful with the cheese. She sprinkled a little, I don't know, it's probably paprika or something, maybe chili powder. I don't know, but the little sprinkle on top to make it look fancy. It still looks like prison food. I'm sorry. Do they give you Brussels sprouts in prison? A lot of people don't like Brussels sprouts. I feel like it's a food that they would give you in prison. It's cheap. It's green. It's a superfood, or well, it's close to a superfood. And people don't like it, so it would be like a punishment to eat it. So I feel like they would give you Brussels sprouts in prison. I'd be like, yay, Brussels sprouts day.
Let's try this out.
Oh, she had to really work that knife. It looks dry. It's dry. No wonder it needs gravy. Yuck.
There's chicken breast.
Ugh. Go like this. Go like this. Go. Just, yeah, got it.
And gravy.
Yuck.
The gravy softens the bread.
Duh, it's
Look
liquid.
how small these Brussels sprouts are.
Thrilling.
Must have been the non-GMO batch.
Oh, God.
I remember in high school I did a paper on a study on frankenfoods.
Like this?
When I went to the grocery store and I bought a regular like grapefruit that was genetically modified. It was this big. And I went to the organic section and got a grapefruit that was not genetically modified, and it was this big. Oh my gosh, this gravy's so good.
Oh, that's one of my things. That's one of my things. I understand if you like making a peanut butter sandwich or a jam sandwich, or you're making yourself a sandwich with a spread on it, and you might just wipe the excess off onto your finger and eat it. But I hate it. Hate it. Hate it. Hate it. Hate it. Hate it when people lick their knife. I'm just like, that is the worst. For me, that is worse than having elbows on the table or not using a napkin or talking with your mouth full. I hate that so much.
I had to roast the chicken anyways to make the gravy, right? I mean,
could have just bought box gravy, but anyway. Any excuse to make a full roast chicken so she can sit down and pull it apart and eat it all on her own. But she had to make the chicken to make the gravy. Everything else in her house comes from a packet or a box or a tin. But we must make gravy from scratch. Hang on, I only make it with a full roast chicken. Yeah, okay, Sure Foods, we believe you.
In a pinch, you could make gravy without drippings.
Says the chef herself, giving us cooking tips when she never actually cooks. This is probably the first meal she's made all week.
But the flavor is so much better with it. I mean, come on. Let's be real here.
Oh. Look at her hand over here. I wish I had my thing so I could magnify. But look at her right hand over here. It's sitting there like the thing from the Addams Family. Like, I imagine it to start tapping its fingers and then turn its head and look at her like I want some too. Like, it looks like its whole entire entity. She's not shoving the food around much today. Oh, that's because she's got a fork. That's why. She's always touching and poking and pulling the food. It's fun.
I think Brussels sprouts and broccoli are my favorite vegetables.
I love Brussels sprouts. I really like them. But not like that.
I'm not sure if hot chicken sandwiches are A French Canadian thing?
Is that what? Oh my God. See, here we have places in Australia, we have places that they probably have them in Britain too. Maybe in other countries, I'm not too sure. But if you go into a shopping center, you usually have at least one place called a carvery. And basically, they just make a whole mix of different meals. And usually they'll have like a roast meat. They'll do roast beef and roast pork, maybe a roast lamb, but usually roast pork and roast beef. And you could get a hot roast beef or a pork sandwich. And what it is bread of your choice, usually white bread. And they'll slice up the meat and they'll put it on the bread. And then they'll put crackling on top after they put another piece. They'll put another piece of sandwich on top, gravy, salt and pepper if you want it. And then on the top, they'll put a little bit of, if you order a pork sandwich, they'll put a little bit of crackling on top and they'll cut it in half if you want them to. And that's what we call a hot sandwich, like a hot beef or a hot roast pork sandwich. I think pork sandwiches are probably more popular. We don't get it like this, and it's not usually chicken. You would have to go to a chicken shop to get a hot chicken sandwich, unless that carvery is like that's something that they've got on their menu. You get other things from a carvery like hot chips, homemade lasagna, a pasta, salad sandwiches, sausage rolls, pies, just hot foods, and maybe like a salad or a sandwich bar, juices, soft drinks. It's kind of like homemade food, but just in a real slutty way. Yeah.
If you wherever you live, let me know if you have this, or if this is the first time you hear about it.
No, not like that. I feel like that white bread under that would just be, it's going to be like slimy, mushy, wet slop. I think the only way that I would make that is if I toasted the white bread and then laid it down and then put the gravy on it, dehydrate the bread so at least the gravy is rehydrating the bread to a bit, so it's not turning slimy and sloppy and just disintegrating like stuffing. The texture of that is just making my tongue go yuck.
You have to try it.
No, I don't. And I wouldn't. Not on your recommendation anyway.
With my chicken gravy recipe.
No, thanks.
I'll put it in the comments.
Chantal, nobody, I'm going to say this in the kindest way I possibly can. Nobody comes to your channel for food recommendations. Nobody sits down and goes, what's she eating today? It looks incredible. I want to try that because it looks just out of this world. It's blowing my mind. And as for your recipes, we can sit here and most of us who cook look at you and go, that's not going to taste good, or that's going to ruin the texture, or you've underseasoned, overseasoned. Like you don't have very many or well-grounded or well-based skills. And anybody who's learning to cook, if they cooked one of your recipes and served it to a family member, God forbid, a boyfriend or a girlfriend, they will be out of cooking duties forever. That will give them the whole pass. It's like, hun, you're really pretty and I love you lots, but for the sanity of our relationships, I will take up the cooking duties. You can do the dishes, but I will be the cook, because that roast chicken dish, no. If that's the best you can do, I'm sorry, but I love you, but no more. Oh, and the cheese is going cold. Yuck. It's like a lump.
No, I had to use shredded mozzarella cheese. That's all I have here.
I had mozzarella for breakfast. Here's what I made myself for breakfast. Took me about 5 minutes. I'm prepping veggies and that for the week and doing some roasting and blah, 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 blah. I bought a little bag of mini dinner rolls, and I've just found out that they are a trigger food for me because I ate like 3 of them yesterday. They're about that big. I just put some butter and some peanut butter on them. Delicious. But I had one for breakfast. So I cut one in half. I toasted it under the grill, pulled it out. I roasted some garlic yesterday. So I made like a garlic herb butter, and I put that on each side. And then I got some fresh tomatoes that I'd sliced up that I've got prepped, so easy to make, less mess later. Pop that on, some black pepper, and then I got my fresh ball of mozzarella, and I sliced that up. I popped some of that on top, stuck a little bit for a nibble on the side, and then I put it back under the grill and melted the cheese, and that's what I had for breakfast, and it was so delicious. And now I'm just having my coffee. Yes. I have mozzarella, grated mozzarella mixed in with my 3 blend cheese that I put on everything else. But when it comes to just mozzarella on its own, it has to be fresh mozzarella. I'm sorry, it does.
I literally cannot find cheese curds. So if you're in Kuwait,
Can't you make cheese curds in your own kitchen? Can you not make squeaky cheese in your kitchen if you put the time into it and like just have it and have it last for a while in your fridge? Just put it in the right storage container. Is that a thing? My cat has decided that he wants to come and talk to me. What are you doing? He can come and sit on this side because I don't need to read the chat today. So if you want to sit on this side, you can. Do you want to? Do you want to say hi to everybody? Do you want to say hi? Well, I can't pick you up, hon, because my wrist.
and you watch me, which I doubt.
Oh my God. What's that in the background? Wait a
And
minute.
you know where
Okay, what have we got going on here? We've got, it looks like she's, buddy, you're standing on the cursor cord. She's got freshly fluffed cushions. Carpet's looking a bit dirty in the background here, but that's fine. I mean, that's what we expect from Foodie. I'm curious as to why they went with green drawers. I thought she maybe would have gone for like maybe just clear colored ones, but okay, whatever. They're not bad drawers. They're cheap, that plastic ones, but you know, storage is storage. I've got cheap ones in the garage like that. But what is that? And what is that? Are we storing, is that the extension of the kitchen? Is that like these set of drawers is where the lounge room stops and this is where the kitchen starts? Is that a big bag of rice or cat biscuits or something? What's this little white thing? I can't see. I'm trying to squint. Is that a cubby hole? What is that? I can't tell. Is it just a table that we just dump stuff on? Is that just so she can swing around, grab some treats and toss them at the cat like she used to do for BBJ? Probably.
I can find some cheese curds, please let me know.
Hun, you're never going to run out of crap meals to eat. Don't worry about it.
We have Brussels sprouts. I like eating a bowl of them for a snack.
Me too.
Honestly.
But just not like you. I like them pan fried.
I'm almost done my first bag. They're so good. I think I like them better this way than with butter and Worcester. And it's healthier too, right? So I think I'll make them in the air fryer with a bit of olive oil and salt. Just a bit of salt from now on.
I bet a lot of salt. She could use soy curd or amino acids instead. Soy sauce, I should say. Miso, bit of miso on top. Nice. Oh, lots of sodium, sorry. Oh, that's something I might try. Using some dashi instead as the broth in some rice or cooking the Brussels sprouts in some dashi broth. That might be nice because it's got different flavor base than regular like bouillon or stock.
No.
Oh, God. She doesn't
You can get these at rotisserie chicken places in Canada everywhere. Mostly in the Quebec area or Ontario. But my mom used to make this.
When did she have time? She's so busy out and about.
All the time.
So how did her mum make this? Because she had to roast an entire chicken, make the stock from scratch, butter the bread. Her mum probably wasn't making Brussels sprouts. She probably made no veggies and or maybe broccoli or whatever. We'll assume there was a green on the side. Do you think her mum was roasting an entire chicken after school and making stock from scratch? Or do you think she was going to the shops, which is totally fine because a lot of mums do this and it is a great hack. You're just rocking up to Woolies. That's our grocery store. Woolies, grabbing a pre-cooked hot chook, a bag of Grey Vox or a packet of Grey Vox, and just making some like ready instant gravy and just chucking that on a plate with maybe some oven cooked fries. Or she goes to the shop and buys fries. How is her mum making this after school? Because her mum worked a lot. And this would not be a quick Insta meal after work if she made it from scratch. It would be a labor-intensive meal. And she'd have to have cheese curds and then put it in the oven and melt it all together. Like, I bet her mum made it, but I don't think it was the, like, chefy way that she's talking about because mum doesn't sound like much of a chef from the recipes that she's cooked.
Growing up, she put peas on it. You're supposed to.
There was they were probably frozen peas, which is fine because frozen veggies are almost as good as fresh, and they're more convenient. And if they're more convenient, you're more likely to eat them. That's what I reckon.
To put peas, traditionally, I don't like sweet peas. Green peas,
Why? Peas are great.
I don't know. I never did.
Especially in a chicken garlic pasta dish. Ever done that? Bacon, chicken, creamy garlic sauce, and then you throw some peas in there at the very end till they go bright green. Oh my God, so good. And when you have like just a couple of peas at the bottom and it's got the creamy garlic sauce, and oh, that's so good. My dad, I didn't grow up with my dad, but I did spend school holidays and stuff with some anyway with my dad. And I swear, and this is probably a generational thing. We would have veggies, like a meat and 3 veg. That was pretty much growing up. That's what we had a lot. Like that was the meals that we had. Because my dad's from the country and my whole family's from the country. Working men need a working meal. We'd sit down and there'd be veggies on the plate. And if there was greens like broccoli, peas, artichoke, squash, any kind of veggie that he wasn't really that impressed with, he would get heavy cream and pour the cream over it. And I'm not taking just a sprinkle, drown it. And here's the kicker: he'd put ketchup on top as well. Yep, or not, sorry, ketchup, tomato sauce, and that would be his condiments for his veggies that he didn't like. But he'd eat them, but they'd be smothered in cream with tomato sauce. Yep, combo.
That's just something I never grew to like either. Because there's some things as a kid I didn't like that I like now as an adult.
We kind of wish you grew into responsibility. We don't like that as a child, but as adults, we find that somewhere. You haven't.
So, but peas, never liked them.
She's gone back and said that she does, though. She lies. She changed her mind.
Why? So we had
I don't know whether I actually feel like I'm not hearing as many chewing sounds coming from her. Whether it's because she's not wearing the microphone and the editing tools, but I'm not hearing the jaw clicking and I'm not hearing that that we normally hear.
Date night tonight.
Sure.
Well, went to the movie.
Got it.
I was saying in my live stream, and by the way, come say hi if you ever see me live.
The way
I love to hear from you guys.
There she is, slutting out her live streams like anybody's going to go and watch you do live stream. It's this without the food. How boring. Oh, but then occasionally in live stream, she'll throw an innocent child under the bus and accuse people of actions that you've got no evidence that they've committed, whilst claiming they're worse than every other person to distract from how bad your husband is. You do that sometimes in a live stream. What she's got in her bowl right now is what we would call the dog's dinner. This would be the leftovers. If there was enough stuff, I'm a bit itchy. If there was enough stuff in there that's not toxic to dogs, that would be the leftovers that get chucked in the dog bowl, and the dog would get that. That's where that saying, it looks like a dog's dinner, when it looks mushed up, used, processed, picked through, it's usually because the dogs get the leftovers. And if the dogs don't get it, the chooks would.
Our movie started at 1:55 a.m. Never in my life. The latest show I've ever been to, 10:15.
So if you thought the time was impractical and really bizarre, why did you go? Because that would be, okay, so it's a 2-hour movie, 2-hour trip. So that means you'd be getting home at what, 3:55, 4 o'clock in the morning. And you're like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. That's because you go to bed at probably 5 or 6 after your next meal or this meal and sleep until 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That sounds reasonable to you.
In Canada. 1:55 is so late. But we went to see Quiet Place day one. And it was okay.
I think I would, if I was going to the movies with Salah, which would never, ever, ever, I would go to a movie with Salah if I had a chastity belt on, skunk deodorant, and a hazmat suit. These would be the only and we had to sit 4 seats or 5 seats, a row apart. And I'd probably see if I could get one of those a device where I could cut out the sounds around me with earphones in case he tried to talk to me. And it would have to be a thriller or a horror or a very serious movie, because I would never be able to go and watch a comedy with Salah, because if he laughed, I think I would probably reach over and do my best to mute the sound in whatever fashion I could find. Maybe an empty popcorn box, a tin, a cup, my fist, whatever. But it would have to be something serious so he never ever laughed. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Cat's making noises.
I didn't love it, but maybe I'm just sick of that franchise. Like, you know, those alien things.
How does she not feel it? Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it.
I mean,
Foodie. Oh, she got it.
I don't know.
Accident.
So I liked it. He gave it 9 out of 10.
Yeah, he likes you. He likes shit things.
Just a matter of taste, I guess.
Oh, that bread. That bread is the worst looking. Ugh. Oh, too big. Too big. It's astounding. She's almost at the bottom of the plate. She's eaten that massive, massive bowl, and she's still taking the hugest of bites. It's like it's going to disappear or run away.
I would rather long legs. So maybe we'll see that next week.
2 movies in a month? Oh my God, you guys are rich. You could eat one a chip at a time. Jesus. See, Foodie is actually short. She's shorting herself. If she ate slower, she'd actually get more dopamine rushing through her brain, unless the big bites are part of her inging experience, because it gives her the texture that she wants. A really full mouth, a partially blocked throat. Sorry if that's triggering for anyone. That it's all about the texture and the way that you chew, because she does say that she just likes to swallow food. She doesn't like chewing. She prefers it when she can just swallow it down. That's probably why she likes the ramen and noodles and stuff. But if she wanted a longer experience, she could eat half that amount of food and take smaller bites, and she would actually get more dopamine running through her brain, because sensory wise, everything else is there except for the large mouthfuls. Maybe that's essential for her. The big, humongous bites must be part of the binge for her. And to be fair, I don't think that was a binge, what she just had. I just think that was her overeating. She's just absolutely munging for a meal because she's left it so long and she's absolutely gagging for something to eat. She's just put more on a plate than she needs, and that's it. But that doesn't feel like an inge to me. She's excited at the beginning, ate too much food, and now she's finished. And if she says she's not full, oh my God.
That was a phenomenal meal.
Yeah, it looked really yuck. What are you looking at?
I was checking how long my video was.
No, I wanted to make sure it was past 8 minutes.
It's not very long since I devoured that, but check. You have to try my gravy recipe.
No, we don't.
Now, measurements wise, I don't really measure. I just kind of eyeball, like I always say. So
that's probably why it tastes bad.
It might be hard to replicate it exactly.
Whilst you're learning, use measurements. And then when you've done it a million times, you can eyeball it. You're not practiced enough with any meal to just be eyeballing it. We can tell by the way that you cook and the way that we just know you.
Exactly, but anyway. All right, so like I don't measure the flour or anything like that. So I'm just going to put the ingredients.
So I bet you any money her gravy tastes really mealy and floury and like gluey, because it's important to get the water, the moisture powder mix. If you put too much flour in, it just tastes mealy.
And hope you're able to do it. But anyway. Anyways, guys, thanks for having dinner with me. I just wanted to show you my Kuwait puts in. that I make when I'm craving it. It's not exactly authentic Canadian puts in, and it doesn't taste like it.
Foodie, nobody cares. Nobody comes to you for authentic anything. Inauthenticity is your brand.
But it's better than nothing, I guess. All right, guys. See you later. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. All right, guys, that's my reaction to Foodie Beauty's poutine mook. I'm not going to say the word because then you get trouble. Meal. Yay. If there's anything you'd like to let me know about the meal, if you make poutine, if you make your homemade gravy, tell me your recipe, because if you're telling it to me, I bet you know it really well and it's really tasty. If there's anything you've disagreed with, let me know. Hit the like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you later. Bye. Bye.